Figured out who the customer is, I've written down some questions. Now I have the terror that is actually like, sitting down and talking to people. How do I do this?
It is so terrifying. So yes, absolutely. I'm not going to lie to you, this is super scary. Like talking to anybody that you've never met before, totally terrifying.
Well, there's nothing in the template to fill out for this bit. Instead, Vic is going to go through 2 different methods for conducting interviews with us. They're ways of asking follow-up questions that can be really helpful. Let's say we're doing the non-money bit of a social enterprise, or we're doing like the donor bit of a new foundation or something. At that point, would the question be like, what made you last think about this cause? Or like, tell me a story about why this matters to you?
So there's 2 different actually streams of thought around this. Some people go really hard on what we call the 5 whys. So to really figure out what it is that's spurring a behavior by just continuously asking someone why. So for example, why you donated last month? Why?
Okay, I can tell you. Let me try this out.
Yes.
So the last time I donated, it was because I had a bit of extra cash that I didn't expect to have at the end of the month. And I was like, oh, I can give this away and it doesn't affect my life.
Okay. So why did you give it to that exact cause?
It was because I had done research in the past about like what the most effective cause was. This was a couple of years ago. And I just had the go-to of like, there was 3 that I would pick and it was the number 1. And I went and looked it up online. I was like, cool, you guys.
Okay, so what does most effective mean to you?
Right, so for me, it was what a bunch of other researchers had gone and figured out. And then I found another mob called Malago that I love. And I kind of correlated between the 2 and went, okay, they both think this is a good idea. So I'll go in that realm. It was small plot farming was the thing. So
why does it matter to you that they're effective?
Because it's like, if I'm going to give spare cash I have at the end of the month somewhere, and I want to know that it's going to be really effective because I feel like I see all of these nonprofits that are wasting cash, or they're not efficient, and it's kind of like I want to be helping the people that are doing it super, super well. It's like my efficiency bug comes out, and so I want to be working with people who are super efficient.
Okay, so what matters to you is seeing an organization is being super efficient. So any of the criteria around efficiency, that's what matters to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, hold on, let's rewind. I actually did most of the talking there. Here are the 4 questions that Vic asked on their own.
Why you donated last month? So why did you give it to that exact cause? Okay, so what does most effective mean to you? So why does it matter to you that they're effective?
So you just did 5 whys, starting with what was my behavior, and then as we dug into it, we found out that my initial driver was like efficiency, because I'm an efficiency nut. But I probably wouldn't have told you I donated because efficiency.
There is another just trail of thought just to keep in mind, that some people feel like if you're asking somebody why they did something, we don't always have perfect information on why we do the things we do. So this actually comes from a lot of studies from cognitive psychology, showing you're in a supermarket, you're buying 2 different kinds of wine. You can come up with all kinds of crazy reasons over why you went French versus German, but they found that a really significant factor is, are they playing German or French music in the supermarket? Nobody actually has the insight to tap into what subconsciously is always going on around them. It's just, we're human. So that trail of thought would say, just continuously ask questions about the context as well as asking why, just to make sure behavior kind of rules over feeling.
Okay, so when you asked me the question about why did I donate, if you were to be super diligent, you'd be like, what in the, it sounds really awkward, what in the environment made you make that decision?
Well, again, because we don't have a good enough way of going, oh yes, I was totally affected by the rain that day and it made me, and also I'm a Taurus, so that affects everything. Yeah. Better just to keep teasing out those contextual details they can't really lie about. So, well, you mentioned that it was the end of the month that you did your donating. Why was that?
Right, well, I have like a it's really weird. I have a calendar invite with my partner, and at the end of every month we use this pocketbook app to reconcile all of our accounts, figure out any shared expenses because we don't have a shared bank account, and then I can see how much like play money I have at the end of the month. So it's like we do this reinforcing thing of making sure that we haven't spent any money we didn't know about, etc. And then, so it's like that's what I do at the end of every single month, is use this app that reconciles stuff.
Yes. Do you do this activity together or separately?
Yeah. So my girlfriend and I, we sit down on our laptops and we both go through our accounts. We do it together because it's boring. And so it's like a shared pain between the two of us, and then we get a magic number at the end and we compare them.
Yes. So what I liked about asking that question was I'd say the biggest contextual thing there is that there's another person with you, because social influence is huge. So if there's another person helping make your decision, you also know, I probably want to interview your girlfriend as well.
Right. Okay, so with these methods, we've got lots of really good information. Different, but good. Think of these as tools in your arsenal when you're in an interview. What if in the first 2 minutes of the conversation, you're like, tell me the last time you had problem X, and they're like, no, I never have that problem.
Yeah, and that totally could happen. Again, there's no perfect. What you have at least learned is, great, this person, not quite right for this problem. I'd say, still, as long as they have the time and they're willing to keep talking to you, you still have the chance to just ask them other things about other contexts that you might care about. So, for example, if you are thinking around, I want to sell sort of a fitness app, and they say, I've never been to the gym in my life, I don't care about my fitness, and I'm fine with that. Yeah. Well, you can say, do you have anyone else in your life who cares about their fitness? Do you, what do you do instead of going to the gym then? It's just sort of, you still have an opportunity to maybe discover other problems that they have.
Right. So I've got the problem I'm researching. Maybe I'm going to a cafe or calling up people, but what if I'm targeting CEOs on LinkedIn? I don't want to be burning bridges with these important people having terrible conversations, right?
This is a really tricky question. I still struggle with this one myself when I have a project that requires this. Always set really good boundaries and expectations for the person you're about to interview. So, for example, this is going to take 20 minutes of your time. I just really want to understand this problem that you are experiencing, daily, so that I can help solve it for you. Always keeping in mind, you are there to help them with something that they care about. And if you do your interview well and you're not pitching your solution, people do find it quite cathartic to have the chance to kind of have a bit of a whinge, really. And that includes CEOs. You'll find as well, you're not going to stick exactly to these questions, and that's a really good thing. What always matters is when you're doing the interview, just to check in with yourself that you are essentially shutting up, that you are silent and you are listening to the other person.
Right, and so this is the tell me more about that thing, right?
Absolutely. I'd say almost, one of the best questions you can actually ask someone during the interview is just a sound with a question mark at the end, so.